Welcome to Temple Builders Carpentry. Temple Builders, we problem solvers. Temple Builders, safety first. Okay, Temple Builders, today we talking about crawl spaces, full basement foundations, and slabs, okay? Now, this is my crawl space. This is my full basement. This is my slab. So first we're going to talk about our crawl space, okay? The main foundation systems are the crawl space foundation, full basement foundation, and the slab at grade foundation, okay? Now, the primary differences between crawl space and a full basement foundation is the wall height. The slab at grade foundation features a concrete slab floor instead of a framed floor unit, okay? Now, you see right here, we got our 2x10 joist, okay? They're spaced 16 inches on center. All right, you can see the end grain of our seal plate, okay? Now, this is our concrete wall, okay? This is a crawl space, like I said. So you got your concrete wall. This is the top of your concrete wall right here, okay? Now, in between the top of your concrete wall and your seal plate, you'll have something called a seal sealer, okay? That's a little piece of foam, okay? It can be rubber as well, but it prevents capillary action. It's like a capillary break. It also prevents your seal plate from rotting, okay? It also works as an air brake as well. But if you look right here, this is the end grain for what you'll call your band joist or your rim joist. Okay, as we keep on going up here, of course, you're going to have your OSB decking on top, or it can be plywood decking. Okay, and here go your wall, which is going to be your bottom plate. Then you got your studs right here. And you can look at the profile right here on my baseboard. Okay, I got my sheetrock baseboard. You got a finished floor right here on here too. Okay, you got to be able to identify all of this, okay? If someone is building or you got to come behind someone else's work, you know, hopefully they've done it to code, okay? Now, if you look right here, on the outside, of course, you got your sheathing, okay? Either OSB or plywood, okay? Then next you'll come with your building wrap. I know y'all done probably seen it. You done seen somebody doing construction before. They had a Tyvek building wrap a lot of times around the building. And then you'll come with some foam insulation. It's like styrofoam insulation right here. Now, a crawl space is a narrow space between the bottom of a floor unit and ground. See this narrow space right here? Now, crawl space foundations are also known as basementless foundations. Okay, that makes sense, right? Basementless. Local building codes usually specify a minimum crawl space distance for buildings, okay? A common minimum distance is 18 inches from the bottom of the floor, which is right here, right? Bottom of the floor joist, bottom of the floor joist to the ground, okay? And 12 inches between the ground and the beams that support the joist. Okay, here's my beams. Okay, this will be a sandwich beam. This is the end grain of 3 pieces of lumber. Okay, it's a minimum distance of 12 inches right here. Okay, but the total minimum distance from the ground to the bottom of the floor joist right here is 18 inches. Crawl space foundations are often constructed with 2-foot clearance beneath joists to provide easier access for plumbing, electrical, or other mechanical repairs. So you'll commonly have this at a 2-foot height. Okay. Now also look over here. You want at least 8 inches. Okay, from the ground to the top of your foundation wall. All right. Now these little tic-tac-toe patterns right here, this represents the dirt, okay, the ground. Now in a full basement foundation, the foundation wall also serves as a basement wall. The top of the foundation wall should extend at least 8 inches above the finished grade. Okay, now that's what I showed right here. Okay, so it would be the same thing with this right here. This will have to go at least 8 inches above the finished grade. Okay, above your dirt right here. Now, if you look right here, I got lateral pressure coming from my soil. Okay, this is my soil over here. Lateral just means sideways. I got sideways pressure. Here go my concrete wall. All right. Now, concrete is very good with compressive strength, but it's not that good with tensile strength. And tensile strength is basically pulling something apart. Compressive strength is pushing something together. Okay. Now that's why you'll put rebar in here. Okay, if you got this lateral pressure, you put rebar in here to increase your tensile strength. Okay. Foundation walls are usually 7 to 8 foot from the floor slab to the bottom of the joist. Okay, so that's what we got right here. Total clearance 7 to 8 foot from the floor slab to the bottom of the floor joist. Okay, the walls must withstand the lateral pressure of the soil and be fully waterproof. That's what we were talking about right here, okay? Now, on the outside of your basement wall right here, of course, you can go with a rubbery membrane to waterproof, okay, your basement wall. They also have asphalt sheets, self-adhesive sheets of asphalt, okay, that you'll cover the outside of your basement wall to waterproof it. Now let's talk about, I also want to say that the area of the crawl space in a crawl space foundation must comply with local building code requirements. All right. Now, slab at grade, slab at grade just means the ground. Okay. Now, in a slab at grade foundation, which this is right here, a slab at grade foundation. All right. The foundation walls are combined with a concrete floor slab. This is our concrete floor slab, okay, which is usually 4 inches, okay, except right here. See right here, see how it's thicker right here? This whole thickness equals 10 inches, okay. Now it's thick right here because look right here, we're going to have a wall right. It's going to be our interior wall or partition. So you're going to make it thicker right here up under your floor slab, okay? The slab surface is level with the top of the foundation wall in a slab at grade foundation, okay? You can see that. It's level with the foundation wall with a slab at grade foundation, okay? In a slab at grade foundation, the floor slab receives its main support from the ground, okay? So the main support what's holding this up is the ground. All right. Now, slab at grade foundations are not practical over steeply sloped lots or where the water table is near the ground surface. Now, the water table is, if you go into the ground so far, okay, you got a water table, okay? Water table is the top surface of your groundwater. So if your water table is too high, you can't use this slab at grade foundation, okay? And you don't want to use a slab at grade foundation on a steeply sloped area, okay? I talked about this, I think, in the last video where you'll use a stepped foundation for a sloped lot, okay? Also, concrete for slab at grade floors can be placed as concrete for the foundation walls is placed, or the floors can be placed separately. Okay, it can be placed together. What's called a monolithic pour. That's when you pour everything together, the floors and the walls together, or the footings all at once. Okay. Now, slab at grade floors can also be combined with grade beams I talked about that in my last video. An inverted T, rectangular or battered foundation walls. All right. Now, in a slab at grade construction, right? In slab at grade construction, a concrete slab rests directly on a bed of gravel, okay, that has been placed on the ground. See this bed of gravel right here? Placed directly on the ground, okay? This is 4 inches, okay, of gravel, okay, which is going to reduce the rise of moisture, all right? This is our capillary break. I always mention that, we're using gravel so it has what they call macro pores in it, or large holes. Large holes, okay? So the water or capillary action can't take place, okay? Because if the water gets up here to this concrete, the concrete has small holes in it, okay? So the water can climb up through there, or it wicks. The concrete can wick the water up through here, okay? And you get moisture in your living area, okay? Or in your home, okay? Now, forms are constructed around the perimeter of the slab. 2 methods are used in slab at grade foundation construction, okay? Now, in one method, concrete for foundation walls and footings is placed first, and concrete for the slab is placed secondly or separately, okay? Now, after the walls and the footings have hardened and set, okay? Now, you see right here? You can tell it's been placed separately, okay? You see, I got styrofoam right here. Or this is rigid insulation, okay? It extends 2 foot under this floor, okay? Placing the foundation and slab separately is recommended for colder climates, okay? Now, if you're in a colder climate, it's recommended that you place these separately. The floor, okay, and the foundation. We got an inverted T. You see, inverted just means upside down. Okay, so you see how this looks like an upside down T. That's your footing. This is your wall. It has a shoulder right here that I'm not showing. So your slab is gonna sit on at least a 4 inch, has at least 4 inches of bearing, or 4 inches of support upon it. Okay. Concrete floors tend to be cold because of heat loss occurring around the edges of the slab and exterior foundation walls, okay? To prevent or to help prevent heat loss, rigid insulation is placed around the perimeter of the slab and extends 2 feet beneath the concrete slab. You see this right here? It's the rigid insulation. So you got your gravel, then you got your rigid insulation on top of that. And then you have right here, this is your vapor barrier. See, it's the pinkish or reddish color. That's your vapor barrier, okay? You got all these preventive measures, or you got all these barriers to prevent moisture from coming into your living space and to control also heat loss, okay? And that's what your rigid insulation is for right here. You see right here, I got my anchor bolts, okay? 4 foot on center. You look at my dashed line right here, the dashed line that I got going across this slab indicates right here, I got a 4 foot concrete slab with 6 by 6. And I got W 1.4, that's your wire reinforcement, or welded wire reinforcement, okay? Which is like a mesh or a net, a welded wire net that sits on some chairs, okay? Before you pour your concrete, that rebar is basically rebar, but it's called welded wire, okay? It's going to be suspended by these chairs. They call chairs. I've seen some people use rocks to suspend that wire mesh halfway in your slab, okay? Now, in warmer climates, concrete for the walls and floor is placed at the same time. Okay, that's called a monolithic pour, or a monolithic construction. Okay, the foundation and the floor slabs are one unit. Now, I don't have that type of slab drawing right here, okay? which it would be a monolithic pour. Okay, so right here, your foundation system right here, or your wall and your footing right here, it will be all one, connected with the slab. You see it's beefed up right here up under your wall. Okay, it'll be all connected. But this was poured separately. All right, and if you look right here, it shows 6-inch bearing wall footing. Sticking out of here is rebar. See the rebar sticking out? I got rebar sticking out right here. Okay. So I think I went over enough with this. If you like the information, hit the like button, subscribe. You want to support Temple Builders, you can go to my Cash App. It's in the description box, okay? Become my apprentice, Temple Builders.